What's up, y'all? I'm Quincy. We are on day 29. 29. We got one more day of this 30-day redesign challenge, and I am super pumped up for tomorrow because it's the last day we're doing this. But thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And if you don't know the backstory, laid off of my job, Wall Street Journal, back in November. Haven't been able to find work ever since. And I said, you know what, let me start something new. Let me do something different. So I'm challenging myself 30 days straight redesigning a company who has rejected my application. How do I know? Because they sent me email saying, hey, unfortunately, we're moving on with other candidates. No problem. I get it. I'm going to redesign something of yours. So it's going to be funny, and we're going to get into it. So today we are getting into Eastern Bank. Eastern Bank, come on, man. We are going to actually redesign their logo and a social media card, essentially. But tomorrow, I'm going to redesign their website too. So it's going to be a two-part series, and I'm ready to get after it, man. So I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Let's go. All right, so we are on Eastern Bank's website, and it's phenomenal. It looks great. There's a few things that are, I think just need to be adjusted some. They have the foundation there. They have, something there that they could work with, which is tremendous. So, but the one thing that I want to get to, which is essentially right away, is their logo. Now, I'm going to zoom in. Let me open it in a different tab. So their logo, and I know you might not be able to see it here. Actually, let me open it up somewhere. Let's see. Eastern Bank logo. Logo. Okay, so let me open this up so you can see it. So Eastern Bank logo. So this is Eastern Bank's logo. I just actually converted it to be white. So, but what you see is the top of that circle is above the actual text, the actual Eastern Bank typeface. Not too sure why that is. And also, this isn't a circle, essentially. It's more of an oval shape. I'm not too sure why. Maybe they were just trying to fit their mark within that circle. So we're going to adjust some things. And I want to adjust this typeface also, Eastern Bank. Listen, I like their mark. I like the E in here. And I think we're just going to take the E out and just, let that be it and not bother with the circle, essentially. But typeface I'm changing. Join us for good. We're going to keep the tagline going. It's registered, keep the tagline going. But it's going to look a little different. And but I am super pumped and ready to get into this. And let me just take it over to their IG page. So here's their Instagram. And let me just pull something in. So, I mean, they're social cards. There's nothing terrible about these social cards. This is the one I think I'm going to redesign with the new logo that I'm going to create. So this is basic, basic. There's no design-ness. There's no je ne sais quoi to it at all. This is just a basic social card. And of course, they were just trying to put something up for the holiday season. I get it. I understand. But we're going to, essentially change this whole thing and make it look a little bit more presentable. All right. So anyway, let's get after it. And we're going to take this to Photoshop because I need to do something with the logo. And then we'll take it to Illustrator to create the logo. And then we're going to we'll keep staying in Illustrator to create the social card. So stay with me. Let's get it cracking. All right, here we go. All right. So now we're in Illustrator. I'm going to bring in their logo. And I was originally trying to trace it out, but it wasn't working properly at all because of the white, essentially. So I'm going to stop this process and bring it into Photoshop. And in Photoshop, I'm going to make this logo completely black. So now when I do bring it into Illustrator, I can cut it out. I can trace it out. So it's pretty easy process, but I want to trace out the E in the logo mark. So I went back in Photoshop, masked it, and I taking it out of this circle essentially. So now I have that E, and that's what really I'm going to use for their logo mark. I'm just cleaning up the image essentially around the edges, make sure it's straight. And now I want to try a few different options. So as I'm trying these options, I brought in where East is. Of course, I know where it is, but just wanted to think about what direction I could go in. Haha, pun. So I'm just going through some typefaces. It takes me a few seconds just to go through them. Really what I'm looking for is one that has lots of options, essentially. So a light, extra light, thin, a heavy, a regular. So, we have options within this typeface, essentially. So I'm going to clean up some of the kerning, get it to where I want it to be, and make sure everything is equal to. And I'm going to mess with that mark and create some different shapes. And this is just, just a process you go through, for just to bring out other ideas, essentially. Not necessarily things I'm going to go for, but maybe I spark an idea on, a direction I want to go in. But, I'm just going through this. But the original idea is just that E that they originally have and just bring it out. So I'm going to try this where it's 3 rectangles within a circle. And essentially we can merge everything, merge, the paths essentially. But it's not working. It's not happening. It's not doing anything for me. So we're going to try something else. I like the red, but it's not working. Nothing is working. And we're originally just going to go back to our first idea. Yeah, just going to go back to our first idea. So here it is. First idea on deck, Eastern Bank. So work out some more kerning between each and every letter. Make sure it's optically aligned and the space is what it needs to be. Now I have my logo. I'm going to get their tagline, join us for good. I'm going to put it under their logo. Originally, they had their tagline spanning the entire logo. We're not going to do that. I created the black, the white, the orange, which is one of their primary colors of this logo. Group everything together, and then I'm going to export it out. I'm going to name each and every one of these layers, because when I do export it out, it's not being exported as layer 1, layer 2, or artboard 1, artboard 2. So these would have actual names. But I'm satisfied with the direction of this logo. And now I'm going to create the social card where the new logo is going to go on. And I'm looking for, this is the social card I'm going to redesign. Keeping your business employees safe from fraud this holiday season. I'm going to go to Photoshop so I can just, because I know whatever they have on Instagram, it should be on Facebook. I said Photoshop on Facebook. So I'm going to download this photo really quick. Make another file. Square, of course, 1080 by 1080. And now I'm going to begin the process on creating a social card. I'm looking for an image that has someone looking at their credit card or making a transaction with their credit card in hand. I'm in Pexels. Appreciate y'all, Pexels, man. I don't know what I'll do without you at all. Well, I know what I would do. I would just download images from Google, like everybody does. But for this project, I'm primarily using Pexels, and that's for every project for these past 30 days. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. So I'm still looking for a few photos. I downloaded about 7, and I'm going to try the space. So I'm going to get their primary blue color. I'm going to make that the background. I'm going to bring in the copy. I want the copy to be very bold, essentially. Going to make the copy white. And there we go. Now our copy. Beautiful. Big, bold. You can read it. Holiday season, I was thinking about making it span the entire width of the copy on top, but decided against it. Negative, don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring in the logo, which is Eastern Bank. Of course, it's Eastern Bank because that's the file that I'm creating. Now, below the copy, I want to put, there's other subcopy by Eastern Bank's Treasury Department, Treasury Team, Treasury Services Team, Treasury Services Team. I'm going to put a separator in that comes from the left. So essentially, it's coming all the way from the left. I'm going to align everything. And I'm going to start with my image. Now I want my image to be in a clipping mask, and I brought this young lady over. She seems to be looking at her credit card, about to make a purchase, and she's unsure if she should make the purchase, much like the photo on the right-hand side too. So we're going to put the image within the container, which is the square. And I'm going to put the logo mark behind everything in a very transparent way. So you don't really see it, but if you look close enough, it is there. I'm going to create the same layout below, but I want this image to span the layout. So it's a little bit more comfortable looking at, a little more pleasing to look at than the one at the top. Got to bring in their logo again. I realized the first logo that I brought in didn't have their tagline, so I'm going to adjust it, bring the tagline with the logo with the tagline. Join us for good. Put the orange logo down here. I mean, the space looks good. It's breathing great. Awesome. Now I have this layout, which I struggled with a little bit because of the logo mark in the back, because I wanted the image to go within that logo mark, but it's not happening because it just wasn't. It wasn't in the shape that I needed it to be. I was trying to merge it, but it wasn't merging. And I went through this for about 15 minutes, realizing my mistake, where I went wrong, because I thought I merged everything together, but everything is 3 separate pieces. So I need to go back and fix it. And I'm just adjusting it now. It's getting there. I'm getting there. I had to go back in Illustrator. And I was in Photoshop too, but that did not work the way I wanted it to work. Of course, this all takes time, and especially when you forgot something, you have to go back and correct it. And this is why at the beginning, I always work with their logo before you move forward with everything else. So you don't have to mess with the other things. You could just focus on the layout. So it's getting there. There we go. Finally there. So it took a little time, but we're there. But I realized as I'm going through this process, I don't like this gentleman in the photo, but I'm going to try to position him anyway. I'm going to flip him because positioning is not correct. So I flipped him. Now I'm going to work with the copy. And I want the copy to be very bold. But right now it's not very bold. Everything is really on the same typeface level. I don't want it to be. It needs to be different. So I'm going to put this logo in the middle. Get Join Us for Good to be in the middle of Eastern Bank and not the middle of the whole logo. But I want keeping your business employees to be very bold. And so it's the title, and then there's a subtitle, which is Safe from Fraud this holiday season. So it just makes it a little bit more convenient, a little more pleasantly pleasing to the eyes to read when you're scanning down. So the first thing that jumps out at you is keep your business employees. That's what jumps out at you. Moved everything up. I'm gonna move the logo to the top right, essentially. Bring everything down. I'm gonna make keeping your business employees bigger. And I'm gonna make it bold. The safe for the subtitle, I'm gonna not make it bold, make it thin or light, I believe. Now you're able to read that very clearly. And I'm thinking about, it's gotta be a color change in here because everything's white, 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 white. No pun intended, but I think safe from fraud should be a different color. Get everything lined up. And I made it the orange, their primary orange. And I am enjoying how everything is coming out. So now I'm just adjusting a few things and realizing I want a different image on the top left. Well, actually, this one right here, this is the one I wanted to change. This is a young lady. She's thinking about making a purchase. Should I make this purchase? Should I not make this purchase? She has a credit card on her head, essentially, just thinking, I wonder. I like it. I like the way this is positioned. Now, I want to put a little drop shot, a little effect behind that logo mark. So it looks like it's being raised up off the page. I like it. So now I just changed the one on the photo on top. So we have 3 separate photos for 3 separate social card layouts. And I'm loving how they're coming out, how they came out with the new logo. Because now, if you look at that logo, it stands out to you with that bold font, that bold font, easily read with their mark. And then right below it is, of course, just, their good motto, essentially. So lining everything out, make sure everything is on the same level and everything's aligns together, especially with the layout that's on top and the layout right below it. Just adjusting, just keeping your just a little bit above, but I'm satisfied. I like the way it came out, adjusting a few things, but let me show this to you guys. Let's go.